Welcome to Formata Consulting, Formata Career Guidance and Trainings. We enable success the journey of life. We are welcoming you for this webinar on the difference between co-scholastic and career assessment report.
So, as a team, we are a team of career counselors, psychologists, educationalists, industry experts, and yes, parents. We have kids, our own kids as a team. We have kids ranging from 10 years to 30 years. So that's the experience that we bring in as parents as well. And when we look at career planning, career mapping, it's a teamwork. The parents, the child, and we as the career counselors. And a little bit about our success stories. We have done almost 400 hours of career counseling, 200 hours of online Skype chat support, 2000 students we have worked through various career workshops. We have been doing webinars in different formats. We have our presence, on-site presence in Bangalore through our various centers, Saudi Arabia. Some of our clients have come from Middle East as well. Little bit about me. I have 20 years of experience as a career counselor. Um, as a facilitator working with MBA students of Victoria University. I have been myself a CBSE student, but I have worked as part of the admission team in an IB school. I am a trainer doing workshops. As a business consultant, I have been writing business plans for small and mid-sized organizations. My prior experience has also been as a professor in one of the colleges in university. And yes, I am a parent of two teenage kids who go to an IB school. Our lead facilitator today is Dr. Richard, who comes with 20 years of experience as an HR professional in various domains, in various skill sets and various subject areas. He is also an educator teaching postgraduate students, and he is a life skills coach with expertise coming from his PhD in life skills. Our another subject matter expert coming from the technology background is Mr. Suresh Tyagarajan. He comes with 30 years of experience working in different organizations like HAL, ISRO, Infineon Group, iGate, and similar technology multinational corporations.
Let me have the pleasure of introducing Mr. John Workey, CEO, Compass Now, and a career mapping advisor. He has over 20 years of experience in designing and developing innovative solutions that are solving online competency assessment tool, strategic consulting and training services for Japanese projects. He has also designed numerous real-time software systems in India and abroad.
Start now. We will, since the plan is and the objective is to understand the correlation between the co-scholastic and the career planning. What I'll do, I will first show you some part of the career of the co-scholastic reports, where what are we trying to assess through various co-scholastic report. Now, let's say a child takes this test, an online test, which is an assessment tool, and we want to understand what are the various levels of the co-scholastic skills a child possess. These co-scholastic skills are also called the 10 life skills, which have been defined by the World Health Organization. These are standard uh, these are a standard terminology used globally. So if you look at this report, I'm going to show you some sample reports. If you look at this report, we see that specific co-scholastic skills are low, and there are some co-scholastic skills that are showing a very high level. Like empathy is high, interpersonal relationships is high, but when we look at creative thinking or critical thinking or decision making or problem solving or self awareness is on the lower side. Now, if you see the categorization, the colors, the thinking skills are the green ones, the emotional skills are the pink ones, which is which dealing with stress and managing emotions, and uh, the social skills are uh, we look at problem solving, decision making, critical thinking, and creative thinking are on the lower side. And when we look at empathy or interpersonal skills, they have a high score. This is just a graph, but the report is quite detailed when we look at in terms of these parameters. Let's look at another report where for this child, uh, the self-awareness or problem solving, some part of the thinking skills are low and probably only one of the parameter is high. This is just to give you an idea when how these skills are rated for a child, at what age can they be taken, and does this graph change over years? And that's what is also our expert going to talk about. Now, if you look at this report, for this child, all the thinking skills are at a high level largely, and the emotional skills are also high. But when we look at the social skills, they are relatively low. Uh, Now, given these skill sets, let us look at one of the career report. What happens now? This test is taken online, and there are 60 questions, a 30 minutes test, and what can we derive from the test? So the report starts with talking about the strengths in general. We look at the list of the strengths here. Then we look at the top competencies. Now, these are again the top competencies uh, which are specific to an individual, and each individual will get a separate list of competencies. There are 250 competencies which are defined in the corporate world, and obviously all of us cannot excel in all these 250. So largely for us, there would be 10 best competencies, and then there would be a further list. So each competency is also explained over here. And then there is a further list of another 10, which will map up and match up with the earlier 10 best competencies. And based on these competencies, based on these trends, we have a career list of the career option list for the various in various categories. Now, if you see, the list looks very wide. We look at policy management, web writing, anti-corruption, environmental, nursing, multimedia, health, judiciary, forest, business and financial analyst, environmental, billing officer. Now, this list starts with this is the first 10 best career options that match the personality. This takes us to another list of detailed list of these career options. Now, is it relevant for a parent or an educator to have this big list, or even for a child? Yes and no. Which means if a child has taken this test in grade 9 or grade 10, this helps us to understand the various buckets. So our buckets could be sector specific or job role specific. And that will help us to understand what subjects the child should select in grade 11. If the child takes this test in grade 11, which means certain subjects have been taken already, so this list we have to start eliminating some of the career options, because the child itself or the parent itself has said, okay, these career options we are not going to consider. So in that case, um, we select, okay, now for what career options match my personality, and how do I decide my bachelor's or the undergrad program? And then further, if this test is taken at the bachelor's level, our report takes at a higher level, and we can still decide what should be my options at the post-graduation level. So this is at a very broad level that I am showing you these reports. More details can be looked at. You can have one-on-one contact. So, Mr. John, would you throw some light on the whole background of this assessment?
So this assessment program, see, we have seen a lot of assessment programs in the market. And most of these programs will assess the subject knowledge and the aptitude of the people. And of course, they also assess a few parameters in a psychometric domain. Now, what I have understood is that technical knowledge, according to the surveys conducted in many industry across India, what I have understood is that that is not very important. What the employers are looking at is more of the competencies and the behavioral skills rather than the technical knowledge and the aptitude. The reason why I am saying this is the technical knowledge is, of course, a student can decide based on the technical knowledge if they look at the 10th standard mark sheet. For example, if one student is getting good mark in science or mathematics or commerce, then it is understood that he can study well in that subject and he can go into that. That is, if we are giving the importance to the technology. The technology is not that important. The competency is more important. The aptitude is also coming to the second level compared to the competencies and behavioral skills. Why I am saying this is because, for example, let's take an example of an IAS officer. The IAS officer is a very intelligent person that we all have to agree, because that is how he became. He got the he cleared his exams in IAS. He got the chance to study the subjects. He is very good. He has got very good knowledge in subjects, and his aptitude is very good. Of course, he has got very good numerical ability and things like that. That is why the whole scenario came that he became the IAS officer. But finally, when it comes to the work scenario, we have seen that many of the IAS officers are not able to perform their jobs properly, because an IAS officer should have a very good decision-making power. He should be able to negotiate, because there are so many projects which he will be dealing with the government or also with the other projects. He should be able to implement that. So before implementing that, there should be a lot of negotiations which has to be happening with the different bodies. Even it can be a NGO, it can be a government body or any such kind of bodies. Similarly, the people skill, that is also very important. The democratic pattern is very important, because he should be very democratic. He should not take decision by himself. Even though he should have the decision-making power, he should look at the overall well-being of the people. So now, if the IAS officer is not having these qualities, having very good technology and or subject knowledge or numerical ability or English language will not make him perform better in his job. So this is the reason why I said the competencies are more important than the technical knowledge, subject knowledge, or the numerical ability, or things like that, or English language. So of course, these are all important, but at the same time, the most important thing is the competency. So that is what actually we are doing in our assessment. We do not assess the subject knowledge, because as I told you earlier, if you know the subject, or if you want to take a career based on a subject or the mark that you have scored, that is not the way, because we have seen people are doing like that earlier and they fail in their future jobs or the career. So that is not important. What we are doing is we measure the internal talent of the students. There is also another kind of category of software or the assessment tools which are available, which will look at the interest of the person, interest of the student. The interest is, again, we know very well that this is based on so many external factors. Whereas our solution will look at the internal reality of the student and then say these are the competencies the person has, and based on that, these are the job that he can perform in the future, or this may be the higher studies options for the student. This is what exactly we are doing. So this is, I should say that this is a new generation assessment tool compared to the old style. People used to assess all the, all the subject knowledge and other interest and attitude and all that in a period wherein they did not know what to measure. But now we know what to measure in the student in order to make the person success in life and career. I think that is the highlight.
Yes,
of
yes,
this.
sir. Yes, Mr. John.
Yeah. Thank
So,
you.
the basic idea, the background with which this tool was made, that's what Mr. John explained.